crippled airliner plunges toward the Indian Ocean. It has no fuel, no engine power at all. The captain struggles to do what no one has ever done before: safely land a passenger jet on the open ocean. Ethiopian Airlines Flight 961 is a routine trip from Addis Ababa to the Ivory Coast. The captain is Lul Abate.
Fuel tank quantity left.
At 42, he's one of the airline's most experienced pilots. Flight 961 will stop briefly in Nairobi, Brazzaville, and Lagos before it reaches its final destination of Abidjan. The plane has just enough fuel for the first leg of the trip. It will get more in Nairobi. Less fuel on board makes the plane lighter and increases efficiency. Flight 961 is carrying 175 people.
80 knots.
Roger.
V1.
As the plane climbs into the sky, 3 young Ethiopian men settle into their seats. The plane is flying at 12,000 meters when the 3 young Ethiopians make their move. Three men barge through the door and arm themselves with the cockpit's fire axe and fire extinguisher.
Get out! Get out! There's 11 of us. If you don't do what we say, we'll blow this plane out of the sky.
The hijackers make a very unusual request.
Fly to Australia.
We don't have enough fuel to get to Australia. It's too far. We can go to Nairobi. We don't carry that much fuel. We only carry what we need.
The hijackers want to be flown to Australia. It's a 10-hour flight, but the plane only has fuel for 3 hours. If he does what they say, his plane will crash in the ocean. If he doesn't, they'll blow it out of the sky. The hijackers seem to think that Abate is bluffing.
We have a bomb!
Yes. If you don't do what we tell you to, we will blow this plane out of the sky.
Abate knows he's trapped. The hijackers want to go to Australia. Abate knows that heading out into the open ocean could be a death sentence. Abate explains his desperate situation to air traffic control in Nairobi.
ATH Nairobi Center. Confirm you are going to land Australia.
We only have 2 hours of fuel.
We can't make it Australia.
We will make a water landing.
ATH 961. Confirm you can't divert to Mombasa.
They refuse to land anywhere other than Australia, so we have no choice. Except when we finish our fuel, we will land on water.
I have no alternate aerodrome.
Sir, I'm in a very tight corner.
Enough talk. We will not negotiate. That's bull. That's bull.
Ethiopian 961, Nairobi Control, do you read?
There would be no further communications between the aircraft and air traffic control. An hour has passed since the beginning of the hijacking. With only a few hours of fuel in his tanks, Abate decides to defy the hijackers. Without their knowledge, he continues south instead of east towards Australia. But with a glance out the window, the hijackers suddenly realize they've been tricked.
I still see land. Turn the plane!
Now, Captain Abate has no choice. He turns his plane east over the open ocean. The plane has less than 2 hours of fuel. The captain begins forming another plan. Nestled between the African continent and the island of Madagascar is their only hope: the Comoros Islands. The Comoros Islands are his last chance to land safely. Suddenly, an alarm breaks the tense silence in the cockpit. It's a warning that the plane has less than 30 minutes of fuel left. Have to find an answer soon, or Flight 961 will crash into the sea. Warning alarms are already beginning to sound. A tiny airport on the Comoros Islands is just a few kilometers away. But the hijackers refuse to negotiate and won't let him land. Once again, alarms sound. One engine is now completely out of fuel. It's shutting down. Captain Abate is quickly running out of options. Most of the passengers do not realize what has happened, but Captain Abate knows the plane is in grave danger. Even with only one engine, and despite the drop in altitude, the tiny Comoros Islands are still within reach of the limping airliner. There is an airport at the capital, Moroni. If he can convince the hijackers, Abate could land there.
It's gone down 1,000.
When the engine stops, it descends. It will descend whether you like it or not.
Alone in the cockpit, Captain Abate takes a dangerous chance. With the island in sight and fuel running out, he explains the situation to everyone on board.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your pilot.
We have run out of fuel, and we are losing an engine at this time. We're going to make a crash landing.
Captain Abate also makes a desperate call for help.
We have already lost one of the engines.
He wants the passengers to overpower the hijackers so he can land the plane.
I ask all passengers to react to the hijackers. Thank you.
Captain Abate knows the call for help is a huge risk. While Captain Abate waits for action, the passengers are more confused than ever. In the end, the passengers choose not to act. Captain Abate is still alone against the hijackers. Finally, they run out of fuel.
So you're killing everyone? That is all. Sit down. From now on, you can't do anything to me.
What?
From now on, you can do nothing to me. Both engines are out. That's it. Is this what you wanted?
Almost 4 hours after takeoff, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 961 has finally run out of fuel. This $40 million aircraft has become a 100-ton glider. The plane is out of fuel, and Abate is out of options. A crash landing in the sea is all but inevitable. Without the engines, the computer screens, automatic pilot, and many other functions of the plane stop working. It's an extremely dangerous situation few pilots in the world have ever faced. Captain Abate hopes to land at the airport in the Comoros Islands, but struggling against the hijackers on the final turn, he loses his bearings and cannot visually locate the airport. In the critical seconds it takes to find the airport again, he loses too much altitude and doesn't know if he can make it to a runway. A water landing is now his only option.
Please maintain calm. Prepare for an emergency landing. Put on your life jackets, but do not inflate them.
Some passengers either don't hear the captain's instructions or decide to ignore them. They inflate their life jackets. For the first time since the hijacking began, Captain Lul Abate gets some help.
I need help. They're too heavy.
Abate tried to make the landing as smooth as possible. At the last moment, he turned the jet. On the beach, tourists are stunned. The horror of the crash is captured on video. The plane is flying more than 370 kilometers per hour when it hits the water.
Oh my God! Oh no!
Passengers who survived the initial impact struggle to escape from the shattered wreckage. As water pours in, people who have already inflated their life jackets become trapped. The water pushes them toward the ceiling of the plane. Many passengers can't escape the sinking cabin. Abate swims to safety, but he has no idea how successful he's been. He doesn't know whether any of his passengers have survived, or what's happened to the hijackers. Abate's decision to ditch the plane near the shore means that although the airliner breaks into pieces, it doesn't sink very far. Locals and tourists swarm out to the downed aircraft. In the end, of the 175 people on board the plane, 50 survive. Without the actions of Abate, many more could have died. The hijackers, who refused to sit for the landing, were also killed in the crash. Both Captain Lul Abate and his co-pilot Jonas Mercuria received many tributes for their actions on Flight 961, including a Flight Safety Foundation award. Despite their ordeal, both Abate and his co-pilot Mercuria continue to work for Ethiopian Airlines.